Do you believe that nestled in the heart of Eastern Europe lies a country with no coastline, far from the bustle of mass tourism, yet blessed with pristine nature, cities so clean you won't find a single piece of litter, and people as gentle as characters from a fairy tale? That country is Belarus. Hidden behind the veil of global media, Belarus is neither loud nor chaotic. Nestled in the heart of Eastern Europe, this landlocked country borders Russia to the east, Ukraine to the south, Poland to the west, and the Baltic nations of Lithuania and Latvia to the northwest. Its location makes Belarus a vital bridge between Eastern and Western Europe, while giving it a unique character, a subtle blend of both European and Eurasian influences, where tradition and modernity intertwine. Belarus is also one of the greenest countries in Europe, with around 8,630,000 hectares of forest, covering about 40 to 43% of its total land area. Nature here remains almost untouched. There are over 11,000 lakes, more than 20,000 rivers, streams, and waterways, stretching a combined length of roughly 90,600 kilometers. Towering pine forests, mixed woodlands, and ancient primeval forests, like Belovezhskaya Pushcha, one of the last remaining old-growth forests in Europe, preserve their pristine, tranquil beauty. Summers in Belarus are mild and refreshing, with clean air and lush greenery, while winters blanket the country in soft white snow, as if straight out of a fairy tale painting. The people here live at a gentle, unhurried pace, are remarkably courteous, and place a deep value on peace and cleanliness. If one day you decide to choose Belarus as the place to start a new life, here are some things I think you should know. The capital city of Minsk will surprise you at first sight. It's not overly modern or glamorous, yet it has a strange charm that comes from its quietness, cleanliness, and a sense of living just enough. The cost of living in Minsk is considered quite manageable, especially for those who prefer a minimalist lifestyle and don't place too much emphasis on material things. Monthly living expenses for a single person, including food, transportation, utilities, and rent, average around $736 if renting an apartment in the city center. If you choose to live in the suburbs or share an apartment with someone else, costs can drop to about $600 per month, or even lower if you know how to budget wisely. A small family of 4 can maintain a stable life with a monthly budget of around $1,850, which covers rent, education, food, and essential needs. Locals in Minsk often shop at traditional markets because the vegetables, meat, and fish are fresh, affordable, and less affected by fluctuations in imported goods prices. A liter of milk costs about $0.75. A loaf of bread about $0.59, and a dozen fresh eggs around $1.36 USD. If you eat out, a simple meal at a local restaurant is only about $9 to $10 USD. Supermarkets in the city are well stocked, and many local products are much more reasonably priced compared to those in Western European countries. The average monthly salary in Minsk is about $764 after tax. Although it's not very high, with careful spending, workers can still live comfortably, save a bit, and have enough left over for simple personal pleasures. Nightlife in Minsk is far more vibrant than you might expect. When the sun goes down, many central streets like Nemiga and Zabitskaya transform into bar and pub paradises, where young people gather and the music flows. From mellow tunes to energetic DJ sets, there are cozy bars where you can chat with a cocktail in hand, Irish-style pubs like Clever Irish Pub, where you can sip beer while enjoying live bands. Lively, youthful places like TNT Rock Club for rock lovers, and upscale clubs like Dozari for nights when you want to immerse yourself in music and dazzling stage lights. Entry prices depend on the venue you choose. Popular spots outside the city center are generally cheaper, with cocktails usually starting around $8 to $12 or even less if you stick to local beer or simple drinks. At larger clubs, upscale bars, or rooftop venues with stunning views, the cost can be higher, though still typically lower than what you would pay in most Western European capitals. If you work in fields like technology, languages, or possess highly specialized skills, your income can be significantly higher, allowing for a much more comfortable lifestyle. One of Minsk's biggest advantages is its well-developed and reliable public infrastructure. Transportation is convenient, with buses, trams, and the metro running regularly and on time, and very affordable. An unlimited monthly transit pass costs only about $15.6. Many residents don't even need to own a personal car, as public transportation is more than enough for their daily commuting needs. The streets are clean, low in dust, and shaded by trees, so you won't even need a hat or sun-protective clothing when going outside. Living spaces in Minsk are closely connected to nature. Parks, lakes, and green spaces are scattered throughout residential areas, giving people easy access to relaxing spots after work. In summer, the city is filled with sunshine as locals go out for walks, picnics, and bike rides. Winter is freezing, yet carries a romantic beauty when snow blankets the streets. The city doesn't come to a standstill during snowfalls. Heating systems work efficiently, and roads are cleared every morning. Even in harsh winters, life continues peacefully without much disruption. Public health care in Minsk is supported by the government, especially basic medical services. Healthcare costs are low, and many services are completely free for local residents. Doctors and medical staff are well trained, and while the facilities may not be as modern as in Western countries, they still meet essential needs. The public education system is stable and reliable, especially at the primary and secondary levels. Schooling is not very expensive, and parents can feel assured about the learning environment and the solid foundational knowledge their children receive. People in Minsk lead calm and reserved lives, yet they are highly disciplined. They rarely show their emotions outwardly, but they live in an orderly, considerate way and respect others' personal space. You will hardly ever see scenes of pushing or loud arguments in public. Instead, there is patience and composure in the way they cue, communicate, and handle situations. Although they may not seem very open at first meetings, people in Minsk are usually polite and willing to help when you need it. A stranger might stop to give you directions, even if they don't speak English. They show friendliness more through actions than words. If you think Belarus is just a quiet country with a slow-paced lifestyle, wait until festival season, when the whole nation awakens in flames, music, and ancient traditions that seem to have long slept. Summer brings Kupala night, with people dancing around bonfires, bathing under the moonlight, and weaving flower wreaths, reviving mystical old folk legends. In July, the Budslav Fest draws thousands of pilgrims to a small village. Minsk comes alive on Independence Day, July 3rd, while Vitebsk explodes with the Slavonic Bazaar, a spectacular international arts festival. However, Minsk is not without its downsides. The biggest challenge for foreigners is income levels. Although the cost of living is low, the average salary here is still modest compared to the standards of developed countries. Those working in basic or manual jobs often earn just enough to get by, making it hard to save or invest long-term. Another drawback is the limited access to information, freedom of expression, and creative space for young people. Life is stable and safe, but sometimes lacks openness, innovation, and opportunities for multidimensional growth. Young people may feel the environment is rigid or doesn't offer enough motivation to break through. In addition, many imported goods, especially technology, branded clothing, and electronic devices, are often scarce and expensive. This is due to import taxes, political influences, and heavy reliance on the domestic market or Russia. For those who love excitement, Minsk can sometimes feel too quiet, even a bit dull. But for anyone seeking balance, a slower pace of life, less competition, and a clean, healthy environment, Minsk can be an ideal place. It's not flashy or dazzling, but it offers a simple, steady, and deeply fulfilling life worth cherishing. While Minsk represents neatness, modernity, and a gentle urban rhythm, the rest of Belarus offers a very different picture. Here are some alternative places to live in Belarus if you're on a tighter budget. When you arrive in Brest, you'll feel an entirely different spirit. Warmer, more old-fashioned, and steeped in history. Located right on the border with Poland, the city carries a distinctly Western European vibe. Tree-lined streets and a blend of old and modern architecture create a harmonious living environment. Brest is famous for its heroic fortress, a symbol of resilience during the fight against fascism. Life here moves at a slower pace, and the cost of living is pleasantly low. About 600 to 650 USD per month for a comfortable lifestyle, or even less if you rent outside the city center. A one-bedroom apartment outside the central area costs only around 250 to 300 USD per month, noticeably cheaper than in Minsk. Food and transportation are also more affordable, while the quality of life remains well maintained. Not far from Brest lies Grodno, a city also in the west, but with a charm entirely its own, gentle, elegant, and rich in European culture. Grodno stands out with its centuries-old Catholic churches, architecture influenced by Poland and Lithuania, and cobblestone streets that carry a nostalgic atmosphere. The city is small, yet orderly, clean, and full of greenery. Living costs here are similar to Brest, and in some cases even slightly lower, due to the modest local consumption level. Most residents rely on public transportation, with monthly passes costing only about 20 to 25 US dollars. And they often buy food at traditional markets, where vegetables, meat, and fish are always fresh and cheaper than in supermarkets. Heading northeast brings you to Vitebsk, the cradle of art and creativity in Belarus. This is the hometown of the famed painter Marc Chagall, and the city still carries an artistic spirit in every street corner, park, and even in its everyday rhythm of life. Though small, Vitebsk is culturally vibrant, hosting numerous art festivals, street murals, and open-air performances, making it especially appealing to those who love beauty and creativity. The cost of living here is noticeably lower than in Minsk. A minimalist lifestyle can be comfortably maintained with just about 500 to 550 US dollars per month. Rent, utilities, and food are all cheaper. And what's truly remarkable is that the living environment